folks, and happy FFA week. I'm Matt Hildebrand, your host for our first of many 10 a.m. community shows throughout this week. I guess this is technically the second one for you radio listeners out there, as we welcomed Peebles FFA yesterday, but first one for Good Guys Radio TV this week. And we want to welcome in our guests today, the FFA chapter from the Ohio Valley Career and Technical Center. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
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 Good morning. Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. Let's go ahead and just let everybody introduce themselves, and we'll go from there. So, Caden or Diesel, whichever you go by both, I'm sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm Diesel Ferguson. I'm the vice president of the Ohio Valley FFA.
I'm Isabella Crum, and I'm the president of the Ohio Valley FFA.
Perfect.
Luke Ronimus, advisor, Ohio Valley FFA chapter.
Brad White, co-advisor for the Ohio Valley FFA chapter as well.
Now he's just advisor. You're co-advisor. Is there a hierarchy to that, or
Both equal.
both equal?
It depends on which one of us is in trouble that day. So that's where it usually stands. So.
All right. Well, hopefully not too much trouble. It is FFA week, so a lot of fun stuff going on for you guys. Isabella, if you want to start us off, some of the things you guys are planning out for this week for celebrating.
So I think the big one that everybody in West Union and our chapter knows about is on Friday we have our tractor parade.
Yeah.
That's always a great thing. It was really a big thing to be a part of last year. We go around to the elementary and then come up through the center of town and then go back to the school. We have a lot of involvement in that. So we have that on Friday. Thursday, the chapter is going bowling and just going to have a fun day together. And what was the dress-up day on Thursday?
USA Day.
USA Day. So we
Okay.
also have our Ag Olympics that day.
Ag Olympics. So
Yeah.
explain that a little bit for us. What's that mean?
So it's just amongst the chapter, and we kind of have these games. We have like a greased pig, tug of war, tractor pull, hay bale toss. Just some fun games to have amongst the chapter to just
Okay.
kind of have fun throughout the week. Today at the school right now we have anything but a backpack day. I've not been at the school yet, so I'm interested to see what unique backpacks we have right now, and camo day. So
Yeah.
if we are all wearing camo today, that's
Right.
why. And then tomorrow is dress like a teacher day. So maybe I'll come in looking like Mr. White tomorrow.
Okay. Oh, what does that costume look like as far as Mr. White on the day-to-day? Normally, probably, I would assume, kind of like what it is right now.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
similar. I was gonna bring some like Carhartt khaki pants,
Yeah.
some lace-up work boots, and then just a random shirt. He wears like a t-shirt most of the time and a hoodie.
There you go.
So
Easy to emulate, right?
Pretty
Yeah.
easy day.
Diesel, for your part, have you been to the school today to know what folks are using for anything but backpack day?
Oh yeah, we've been to the school. Well, the backpack day they didn't where we've been off. It's a little light, but
Yeah.
there's some pretty good ones.
Okay.
And a lot of people were in camo, but I think that's just the normal.
There was no intent behind that. That's just what they wear. on the
Yeah, I
moment.
think a lot of them are just wearing it.
So what? We're looking at 5-gallon buckets instead of backpacks, or
5-gallon buckets are the big one, and then
Okay.
you got like Matty. He got a little food tray, like what you cook food in,
yeah.
and that's all I've seen so far.
Okay. Having fun with it. FFA week, though, obviously, along with having fun and getting to, celebrate a little bit and goof off maybe a little bit more, it is obviously about, what FFA means for you guys and helping to educate, your peers about the FFA program. So, Diesel, for you, just general kind of broad strokes, what is the FFA for you in your experience?
To me, it's all around good time. I mean, you go see people, you meet new people, and you learn. You learn a lot.
Learn a lot. Bella?
So to hit off Diesel's all-around good time.
Yeah.
What I really enjoy most is the contest part of FFA. You learn these new things, these skills that you can use in the real world. Because we're not in reality right now. We're just high schoolers. And you're meeting those new people and getting connections that you're going to have for the rest of your life, whether you realize it right now or not.
Yeah. Let's talk a little about contests then, because I know that is a rather large part of what you guys do, and very successful, I should say, with the OVCTC. So what are you competing at?
Currently right now, what I have on the books is on March 1st, I go to state public speaking
Yeah.
in the extemporaneous category. We have like a general livestock team right now, which unfortunately I don't get to be on this year. So I'm on the dairy cattle team.
Okay.
And I've considered the agronomy contest, and there's just a lot of stuff in the spring that, a lot of members don't realize they're there, and I'm trying to, maybe start some new contests this year.
That's awesome. So we're going to unpackage a few of those. Extemporaneous speaking. All right.
Extemporaneous.
Extemporaneous. See,
Yep.
it's hard to say. I'm assuming it's even harder to compete in. What exactly does that entail? What's that mean?
So in the contest format, you go in and you draw a topic. You get to pick your topic amongst like 3 or so things in a category. And you have 30 minutes to prepare with like a computer
Oh, wow.
and a note card and everything. And then you have to go talk a 4 to 6 minute speech on it to a panel of judges.
Wow. You said 4 to 6, right?
Yep,
Okay,
4 to 6.
okay.
Not
Yeah.
over 6.
Not over 6.
Okay, yeah.
Don't get too windy.
Which I'm sure can both be a challenge in both directions, to have enough
Yeah.
content with that little bit of prep, but also to be concise enough to boil down what you're trying to say. Man, that's tough. So is that speech your favorite competition, or would you rather go back into doing the general livestock?
I would say I enjoy general livestock
Yeah.
more, and I've never been one that traditionally likes being on a team, but we had a really good team last year and we made a lot of memories, so I'd say general livestock would still be my favorite with that team.
Fantastic. General livestock judging. Explain that for folks who have never experienced it, because just like extemporaneous speech, you're kind of getting thrown into a big question mark as to what you're going to see and how that's going to go.
So, broad strokes, it's just evaluating livestock at these contests. And the invitationals, that's all you're doing, evaluating, answering questions, placing them, maybe based on a scenario of, per se, an Angus heifer class that you're looking to throw, the most commercial, most maternal, whatever you're looking for there. So you kind of place it for what you're looking for. But then once you get past that, you get to go into reasons, which anyone who's ever judged livestock before, it's their favorite thing ever.
Yeah, because it's one thing to be able to place them 1 through whatever.
It's
And-
another thing to have to tell somebody why you did what you did,
Right.
and explain it and own it in a good manner that is, a little flashy, a little eye-catching.
So because I said so is not really what they're
No.
looking for. I would
No,
assume.
you can't use that one.
Yeah.
I wish you could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. How much of that though is just like personal opinion and what you might like to see in a given livestock versus what that judge is looking for?
So it does vary from judge to judge.
Sure.
However, there is more of an industry standard of what you're looking for. And I will forever say that it is one man's opinion, because in, the show industry, it is one man's opinion. Some livestock judges will disagree and say it's a science. So it's somewhere in between the two.
Right.
There is, good characteristics, and what it comes down to is where you prioritize those good things in livestock.
Yeah. Little science, a little religion. Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Kaden, let's talk about some of the things that you compete in. We've heard from Bella. What are the different areas of your expertise, if you will?
Well, I partake in the livestock. I'm not that great at it, but I'll be there.
We'll get them there this year.
You'll get
Another
him there.
winning team.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I like the ag skills a lot. That's one that I do really like. And
Well, just continuing off the livestock, because obviously Bella's kind of been through it and has had experience with that team. How tough is that starting out, kind of going through the process of what she's talking about, of just building up that kind of knowledge base to have an idea that I can place these animals and then be able to argue about why I place these animals?
Well, it's not easy. I mean, you gotta look at you gotta practice. You gotta put animals on the board.
Sure.
And decide what one's good, and then see what other people place them, and just you gotta go in there with a purpose. Because they give you 10 minutes there or whatever, and sometimes I might just sit around and write placings down because I don't know where I'm at.
But you get there.
But I get there.
Yeah,
I'm there. And
Well,
Yes.
that is fascinating. As someone who's never done that, I didn't show in 4-H or FFA or anything like that. So, top thing? What's the first thing you notice when that animal comes in? And we say that animal. I'm assuming you guys are, seeing live animals when you're going to these judging contests versus doing it digitally or something.
probably the first thing, me personally, I look for is to see if it's a male or a female, just to know what I'm looking at.
Yeah. I mean, that's a good place to start.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
And just look at how they're built after that, and go from there.
Okay, so outside of male or female, what's the top aspect for, say, if you've got cattle coming in, right? If you got a steer, what's the thing you're going to notice most with that project?
How their muscles build up, how they're shaped.
Okay,
Big one. How they're built.
And that's kind of universal across the board. What different species are you guys doing with general livestock judging?
Well, you got your cattle, swine, lamb, goats. Is that it? That's it.
Yeah.
There we go.
He's learning all the time, Bella. You got to be proud of him. He's doing great. Yeah. So I think that's really fantastic, that you're trying something new. And I would have to imagine, as you said, Bella, you guys were really competitive last year. How's the decision made? It's a 4-person team, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So how's the decision made that, any given team, not just livestock team, that, hey, so-and-so's good at identifying this really quick, and so-and-so's good at, taking a longer look or placing. How do you guys decide who's going to make up a team when you go to competition?
So actually last year we had more of a 5-man team is what I'm going to consider it.
Okay.
We had the 5 of us. We all, were right up there every time. But every now and then one of us would fall off. So that's why it was important to have that 5th person so you could still have 4 good scores. And it did happen last year. Our 5th man is going to be on the team this year. So at the invitationals, you can take as many people as you want. And it just falls where it falls.
Okay.
But this year at our state contest, you can only take 8. And you kind of know, or at least I would say we kind of knew last year before going in who was going to make up the team. You just look at, past contests. And, I was really bad at hogs for a good time. I got better at it. But you couldn't count on a good, solid hog score for me for a while.
Right.
But, so you just know where people are good at and where they need more work. And hopefully they're working on what they need to work on. And the whole team gets better from there.
Yeah. So I got to ask, if you're talking a 4 or 5-person team, if there's 4 species, why don't you just get really good at cattle and, Diesel get really good at goats? Does it work that way, or is it kind of a cumulative score across the board?
It doesn't really work that way.
Okay.
In theory, if we were judging as a team the whole time, yes, that would be great.
Sure.
But we go and judge individually.
Okay.
And then it's more of so I say it's a team contest because we practice as a team. And it is on the team score side of things, but you're doing it alone when you go to do it.
Similar to golf, then, or for folks.
I don't
who
know
maybe
anything
understand.
about golf,
It's
so
similar to
maybe.
golf, right? Yeah. I had to put it in something I
Yeah.
halfway understood, but you guys are working as a team in the forefront in the practice round, competing individually, but your scores are applying together. That's really interesting. Diesel, you mentioned another contest that you're heavily involved in. What's that?
Ag skills.
Ag skills. So that sounds pretty broad and general when you say ag skills. I'm assuming
It's pretty much everything.
it's everything.
Yeah.
Miscellaneous.
Oh, I mean, whatever you can think of that you're going to have to fix, it's there.
Okay. So what do you mean by fix? Is this within the ag mechanics realm, or
More there, yeah.
okay? So take us through that competition.
Well, I mean, you got from putting taps and dies to where you can run a bolt into something, to welding, to deciding what kind of fluid it is, from Dawn dish soap to diesel fuel. I mean,
Okay.
you got...
Well, I'd have to imagine your name being Diesel. You could probably identify at least diesel fuel.
Yeah,
You
I got
one
that.
down.
I got that one.
Okay, good deal. But that's fascinating. So how do you build up that skill set? Obviously livestock, there's 4 different species and there's a lot to learn about those. But if they're just going to throw miscellaneous at you.
Well, for me, it's more just been around it my life.
Yeah.
But being in Brad's class, we get to learn a lot about it, and that kind of stuff, and just put it all together at one time, and then hope you picked up on the spots that matter.
Yeah. I think it's really well said. That it does make it tricky.
Yeah.
When you go in and you're just a big question mark about what's going to be handed to you. So, Brad, for your part, as Diesel said, you do a lot of kind of hands-on experience and learn from that. How do you prepare these kids for something that is, again, completely miscellaneous? How do you make sure you're covering all the bases that if this information's needed again down the line, they've got it?
So many times, it's determined every day about what we do in class in the shop about what comes through the door.
Yeah.
What kind of projects out there, whether it be a mower or a tractor or and unfortunately, kids break bolts off. Well, guys, here's a time when we're going to figure out the tap
Not
die
diesel,
set. I didn't say that.
No.
So, but that when they do stuff like that, they're working.
Yeah.
They're trying. Sometimes it's with a torque wrench, just learning that 2-finger feel. There's so many little things that go in. For instance, that ag skills contest that Diesel was talking about. There's so many things that make up. Yeah, they say, I want to switch a motor in my truck. Well, there's a whole lot of stuff that goes into little skills that you have to know how to take a hose off, how to, and it's, some people think it's simple stuff. Some people's never done it. So just exposing these kids to these different things that kind of maybe some people would take as ordinary skills.
Right.
But they're everyday skills that you have to know how to do to be able to execute a larger project.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of the basis behind that contest. It's a really neat. That's an individual that adds up to a total score, a 3-man team. There's an outdoor power contest that we've got coming up later on in the spring. Currently, we're running the only contest that I kind of know of, other than one other one, that is a true group format. It's a 2-man team. They're in the ag power and diagnostics, which is the old tractor troubleshooting contest.
Okay.
We've got 2 guys going to state next week for that. So
That's awesome.
Joey Cluxton and Colt Johnson. So they're a junior-senior combo. It's nice when you get those seniors to come back and compete. They bring that year's worth of skill for us because being a feeder program school,
Sure.
we're very, very fortunate to have some excellent ag teachers out there that help send us some great students that have had experiences. Diesel's livestock experience in the past, just getting to those contests. He was on the ag skills contest at his home high school with Mr. Sparks in Manchester last year. That's the kind of stuff that once they get to us, that they can spread that to other students that we have in the classroom, and it really, really helps out when they've had some background experience when they come to us.
For sure. Luke, talk a little about kind of continuing off of that. You guys being that junior and senior FFA program where we've got throughout the rest of Adams County, starting off their freshman year, sometimes getting a little experience on the front end even, to you guys really getting kind of, I won't say you cherry pick them, but you do have, obviously, if they're going into your program, kids that are very, very much involved in and interested in ag as a future career. That passion has to mean a lot when it comes to doing these contests and just day-to-day, work in the class.
So I think that's my favorite part about the Career Center. Coming from a comprehensive high school, I taught there for 14 years, so I've seen both sides, been behind the scenes,
Right.
both sides. And that's the special part about the Career Center is the fact that kids can choose to, there's 11 different programs, about to be 12, and they kind of pick what they want to emphasize in. For a lot of students, that's a chance to maybe start over, get that second chance. The hands-on aspect of what we do, just knowing you can have ag for 3 hours a day instead of a 48-minute period or busted out class periods, whatever it might be.
Right.
That's a different environment. There's a lot of independence, a lot of trust. We've always said we like to treat our students like adults. There's a fine line. There's a lot of rules and things we have to abide by at school, but
Sure.
at the same time, we're preparing you for life, for career, for college, military, whatever it needs to be. And in my opinion, that makes our building at the Career Center a gem in the county because as everybody can see, we need more of that today than we probably ever have.
Yeah.
More trades and more students willing to show up every day and give 110% and work.
Well, and before we go to break, just a little more as the ag program in specific. You guys split up. You have ag mechanics and ag business. I think the common misconception would be that these two kids here in front of us are absolutely going to own a family farm and operate, and that's going to be their livelihood and their careers. But definitely not the case with the mix of students that you guys have.
That's not to say it won't happen. We
Sure.
have a lot of students that like public or like production agriculture, but
Yeah.
yeah, they're here to learn different skills. And I guess if I had to say the misconception of that is when people hear FFA, they think only farming.
Right.
And I just hope that people realize agriculture is so diverse, so intricate, so technologically advanced that there are hundreds, thousands of careers in the United States, and in Ohio, it's number one. It's Ohio's number one industry.
Right.
And with over 1 million members strong right now at the national level, that should tell you there's a lot of kids out there that are going to be changing the future of agriculture for the next several years.
Absolutely.
I like to think you absolutely have a gold star beside your name when it says FFA beside it on your resume. That is hopefully something to get your resume turned sideways in the pile.
Yeah, absolutely.
For the experience aspect.
Well, and Bella being a great example, I mean, the things you talked about that you're competing in, while you might miss the livestock team, I mean, speech is something that is going to be used absolutely every day of the rest of your life, regardless of what career you end up in. So, strong skill set to build out, I have to think. And thinking quickly, you're basically doing like a half an hour research paper and having to present it.
Yeah, when you put it that way, it sounds kind of daunting. But, this is my 3rd year in the contest, and I use these speaking skills realistically every day in my life right now. And I can only foresee that continuing in whatever career path I go down.
Absolutely. Well, folks, we're going to continue our FFA Week celebration and conversation coming up here with the Ohio Valley Career and Technical Center FFA chapter. Be sure and keep it tuned. We'll be back here on C103 and Good Guys Radio TV.
Farm families like yours are growing their businesses to ensure their best farm futures. Farm Bureau helps your competitive advantage by advocating for members, connecting you to like-minded entrepreneurs, and providing you with insights and business solutions to grow your bottom line. Add to that healthcare benefits, financial and insurance needs, market intel, and legislative, regulatory, legal risk management tools, and it's easy to see how Farm Bureau is feeding your need for new ideas. Renew your membership or become a member today. Learn more at ohiofarmbureau.org.
We've been growing since 1946. As your Kubota dealer, our focus is to help you grow today and into the future. Stop by one of our locations today, visit with our folks, and see our entire lineup of Kubota products.
Our business is helping you grow. Bachelor Tractor.
Carrington Farm Supply in Georgetown has everything you need for your farm, large or small. Carrington Farm Supply can provide your operation with high-quality farm supplies, equipment, and fertilizers. And since they're an independent ag retailer that's family-owned and operated, it goes without saying that you'll also get high-quality service. Stop in at Carrington Farm Supply in Georgetown Monday through Friday from 8 to 5 or Saturdays from 8 to noon. Call Carrington Farm Supply at 378-3221 and tell them what you need. Chances are they'll tell you they've got it. More than a century of service. Let that sink in for a moment. For more than 100 years, since 1908 and through 4 generations of family-owned business, Georgetown Marble and Granite has stood firm in our community. They've helped thousands of families pay their respects and have memorialized so many lives gone, but not forgotten. When that difficult time comes, Georgetown Marble and Granite will be there to assist you too. Visit their location on East North Street in Georgetown or call 937-378-6314.
At SOMC, it's happening. Now the SOMC Patient Portal app puts managing your healthcare right in your hands. You can request appointments with a simple touch of a screen, quickly and easily get a refill of your prescriptions, make online bill payments, direct message your SOMC provider, and even have safe and convenient virtual visits just about anywhere. The Patient Portal app at Southern Ohio Medical Center. Very good things are happening here.
If this summer brings scorching temperatures and drought conditions, Armstrong Crop Insurance, your local hometown agency, can come to the rescue. They're here to protect your crops from excessive heat, rainfall, wildlife destruction, hail, and even uncertain prices. They have 3 full-time agents who live and farm in your community. The deadline to apply for crop insurance is March 17th. Don't stress all summer long. Call Armstrong Crop Insurance today at 937-378-4430 for a quote, or stop by their office at 501 East State Street in Georgetown. Armstrong Crop Insurance, where the agent is the advantage. Equal opportunity provider. Agriculture is what drives our community. That's why the folks at Community Fuels in West Union are proud to help drive agriculture. Whether it's fueling our local farmers as they head to the fields for spring planting season or supporting our students as they learn and grow through our local FFA organizations, Community Fuels is there, and they'd be happy to help drive you too. Community Fuels in West Union, proudly serving Adams, Brown, Claremont, Highlands, Scioto, and Pike counties for all your fueling needs. Call today at 937-544-2190.
Whether you play on a football team, a baseball or softball team, a soccer team, a bowling team, a golf team, or a basketball team, the National Bank of Adams County is proud to be a supporter. At the National Bank of Adams County, we have been a part of this community for years. Our children have learned to play every sport in this county, and we've been there to cheer them from the stands. The National Bank of Adams County is proud to support all of those who step up to the plate, the line, the tee, or the net. Good luck and have a successful season.
The National Bank of Adams County, keeping it local. Member FDIC and equal housing lender.
Hey, welcome back in, folks, to our FFA Week celebration here on Good Guys Radio TV and C103. Welcome in again today. We have our Ohio Valley Career and Technical Center FFA chapter. And guys, in the last segment, we talked about some of the different competitions and things you guys are learning in the classroom and preparing for. Let's talk a little about what that's all going towards. You guys will go to state convention, and of course, we have national FFA convention as well. So, Bella, since you mentioned you're going to be competing at state with speech, let's talk a little about what the state convention looks for the state of Ohio.
So I just get to go to the state contest in March, and then if you win, which hopefully happens, you get to walk across stage. And I got to do that twice last year for grain merchandising and general livestock.
Awesome.
And it was a very surreal feeling. You know, I had just gotten my state degree, so I'd been up there before. But to be up there with that blue banner and a team, it's probably one of those memories I'm never going to forget about.
Yeah. So explain for folks who are unfamiliar how, not just, obviously competing and getting to go, but state convention and what that looks like, some of the experiences you've had there.
Well, state convention, I've been three times now. So it's kind of, I want to say it's lost its luster, but last year it got brought back.
Okay,
walking across the stage with those banners. You meet a lot of new people at state convention.
Yeah.
You have the trade show there. You can just kind of do whatever. I enjoy general session. The first opening session, I think, is a really fun time. It's just very lively, very, very, very loud.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
you're packing hundreds of teenagers into one space.
Oh, yeah. And just the camaraderie of the whole room. We're all there for that same thing pretty much. And you're in a room full of people that are pretty similar to yourself.
Sure.
It's a unique sense of kind of a team, a giant team.
For sure. And then, of course, you get to experience the differences from obviously living in Southern Ohio. People might do things a lot differently in Northeastern Ohio or in Western Ohio and all around the state. So any experiences where someone has just not understood kind of the way you do things as you're having a conversation with them, or are you more similar than what folks might think? More
similar in like the way we do things,
sure.
But some people can't understand the way I talk.
Really?
If they're
That's
their
interesting.
accent is completely different, and they have trouble understanding me, I guess, because they pay attention to certain words that I say, and they're like, "Oh, that's what you're saying?
Okay,
didn't understand that."
Well, Southern Ohio,
Yeah.
We're that close to Kentucky. I guess
Yeah.
that's what gets it done for us. But of course, state convention, you guys will then look at national convention. So, Diesel, experiences with national FFA convention, which I'm sure is what Bella talked about, just to kind of the nth degree, if you will.
Yeah, I've been to national convention twice, and it's an all-around good time. I mean, you got the same concept at state convention, except on a huge scale.
Sure.
I mean, you're in the middle of Indianapolis, and it's sometimes cold when you're walking. That's the big one. You
Yeah.
get cold, but you're wearing that jacket, so it'll keep you warm.
Right. That's why they include that in your uniform.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And it's pretty neat meeting people from Alaska and all them states that aren't that close, and then
Sure.
California, and then realizing man, they took a plane to get here. We took a school bus.
Well, yeah, I guess that is kind of fair that Indy's not that far.
Yeah.
You know, a couple of hours drive and you're there. So it's got to be a bit of a juxtaposition for you guys just as much as them.
Oh, yeah.
That, you know, we're in a place that pretty much looks like home in Indianapolis, not that different from Cincinnati, a little smaller. And trying to compare that to kids, as you said, who have literally come from all the way across the country. Best experience from, you know, someone way far away as far as comparing agriculture here and there. Have you had that conversation?
Not really.
No?
I mean, I've met a guy that had I think he said 10,000 hog or something. I
Oh,
don't
wow.
know. It was a big number for me, but
Yeah.
And yeah, the way you talk, that one gets a lot of people.
Yeah. Well, understandably.
You wouldn't think it.
You
but
have only slightly more of an accent than Bella does, so you know there's there is that. But Bella, for your part, national convention, a pretty wild experience, as Diesel said.
So I'm actually going to take it back to the CDEs because
yeah.
I just mentioned that we won the state general livestock contest. We got to compete at the national convention this year.
Yeah.
That was, I said, a surreal feeling to be able to walk across the stage and receive the banner, but to compete in a contest just to get there. You know, we were 11th, and so that wasn't what we were hoping for. But to just be in that room full of people and realize, you know, you've came this far, you've done this, you're competing in a national contest
Right.
that only 50 other teams are going to be in. That was another one of my, I'm going to call it a core memory of FFA, being able to do that. So I didn't really do a whole lot else during national convention this year.
I was a little busy.
I was a little busy, so that was my primary focus.
Yeah.
We took a van up with just the team. And we ate good, and we had fun. That's a big thing we like to do is eat.
Yeah.
Eat good food. Yeah.
Celebrate the fruits of your labor,
Yeah.
right? That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
But talk a little more on competing. I think that is such a fascinating thing. Again, walking into a room, and you kind of alluded to this with state convention. You know, you're in a room full of kids who are essentially just a different version of yourself. Well, at national convention, there is that sentiment to a point, but obviously you guys come from 50 different states, very, very different backgrounds. What was it like walking into a livestock competition knowing that, well, you know, those California cows, they might be a little different from Ohio cows?
So we actually, I would consider us that we had an advantage there because, you know, livestock in Indianapolis is pretty similar to livestock here.
For
so
sure.
on that front, I don't know what California cows look like. I don't know if I want to know what they look like, honestly. Don't know if I'd know how to judge them. But back to, you know, the speaking thing.
Yeah.
There were people there giving oral reasons at this contest that had translators.
Oh, wow.
Like, you know, from Puerto Rico, and they were a completely different language.
For sure.
I don't know how they knew how to judge our livestock.
Yeah.
I assume it's the same general principles, because what I seen at the national contest was high quality livestock, but it was the same, you know, general principles we have here.
Yeah. Talking about high quality livestock, is it easier to judge an animal you know is good versus an animal that's maybe lacking in some areas, or would you rather have an animal that you can pinpoint what's wrong with it?
So I'd say once you get to like the higher levels of judging, what really separates people out is being able to judge a class of 4 high quality animals. You can pick out those small differences. I've always said I'm a better judge of good livestock, but that's not always true sometimes, because that's when your priorities and what you really like comes into play.
Sure.
Because, you know, you have 4 animals that are going to go be successful in, you know, the commercial pen or wherever they end up going, whether it's a clubby pen or what. So being able to pick out those little minute differences that, you know, some people may not see. They may
Sure.
just be like, oh, these all look the same to me. But being able to pick that out and then talk it out and reason out why you did what you did really separates a lot of judging experiences that I've had.
Yeah. See, to me, that would be so hard when you've got 4 animals that easily could go into a different show and win that show, but because of the circumstances of the day, as you said, bringing in your own personal preference into it, there's a lot to dissect there. How quickly do you guys have to make those decisions?
So you have 10 to 12 minutes to judge the class, and I won't lie. At the national contest, I took every minute.
Yeah.
Whether it be writing reasons for some of the classes while I was sitting there looking at them so I didn't have to go off my notes, But there were some classes that were just so tough that you could have flipped them either way, and you couldn't have had more than a 2 or 3 point cut between each pair.
Right.
So I took every second, and at the end, I was kind of like, this is what I think it is. I hope they think the same.
Well, still, 11th in the nation is a pretty remarkable feat, and I know, as you said, it's not what you wanted. You go into any competition looking for first place, but I think that is just a fascinating thing for a team from Adams County, Ohio. And of course, again, you guys get to have maybe the best of the best from the county, but even so, there are plenty of schools out there that are literally the size of Adams County in their student population. So the fact that you guys went and competed at that high level is a pretty incredible thing. You mentioned core memories, right? What's the thing you're going to take most from that experience?
So some may say it's the fact that we went to a national contest and got 11th. That's not my high point of it. It's the memories, the funny parts along the way, our trip to Cookeville, Tennessee, where we stayed in a hotel that was a little sketchy.
Well, the FFA budget's tight.
It was a tight budget.
Yeah.
So those experiences with that team and the fun times we had and the food we ate and the jokes we made, and those are the things I'm going to remember in 30 years, and I'm going to tell everyone about, like my parents are doing to me right now.
Yeah. Well, and Luke, I think you can probably say the same, Luke and Brad. You guys could say the same, that looking back on your years in the FFA program, it's not necessarily those skill sets. Those kind of come secondhand when you're looking back. It is the memories that you made with the people you made them with that you hold on to.
It definitely is, man. I mean, if I had to say the one thing that students will come back and tell me, it might be some weird restaurant that we went to or something funny that happened on the trip. Or if it's a skill, they'll say record keeping, which they absolutely hated when they were with us, It seems to be the case. I know for me personally, it's the same way. I got to share all those experiences in FFA and 4-H, and it's those things that I will always cherish and remember about my blue jacket. Not to say I didn't learn skills. I'm sure I learned more immense skills and had more opportunities through FFA than I ever would have doing something else.
Sure.
But you remember the people. You remember those that helped and supported you too. And it's funny, all this stuff. You got all these students. I've got some of them message me now, offering me money to say words like kerfuffle on the air. And
Well,
I
maybe
think
you just got money. You said it.
well, they've already reneged on that.
Oh.
But it's funny how different every class is too.
Yeah.
And the personalities can really change the experience. How well do students embrace each other? And they mentioned, I know Isabella and Diesel both mentioned a lot about these teams, but what they're not telling you, to be able to get 11th in the nation out of 50 teams or whatever was there, they also had to do a finals and had to do a team activity where they had to work together to accomplish this. So even though they're working individually and they're doing all these things, look what they're learning to prepare them for life. That's what I love about my job.
Yeah.
We're preparing kids for life in so many different ways. Even if it is how to handle somebody different than you or to communicate or network with somebody that you're going to meet. I'll add this. I always find it interesting now as an adult. When I go to the state fairgrounds or Indiana State Fairgrounds, it's like this bell goes off in my head. It's like, I judged a class of whatever here, or I experienced this here. And then when I'm there for the state fair, it's like a completely different place, but it's the same facilities and same buildings. So those experiences are shared in so many different ways, and the people and the organizations that we're part of make that happen.
Yeah. Well, and Brad, kind of spinning off of that, obviously it is the people, it is the really make up the memories. But as you talked about with Diesel and competitions with that kind of general skill set, a lot of times you're learning stuff that you really hold on to for the rest of your life that maybe you don't even think about in the moment of, this is something that's going to be handy every single day.
We hope so.
Yeah.
Yes. But FFA is a true co-curricular activity. They talk a lot about the blessings of extracurricular. Well, this is co-curricular. What we learn in the classroom is what they take out, and and into the community, into their jobs.
Sure.
You know, some of the best competitions are in a paying job. You got another kid like so-and-so? I need one right now. You know, we get that call a lot. I want your best kid. Call now.
Yeah,
For
he's
next
already been
year.
promised to 5 others.
Yeah. So, but that's a great problem to have.
Absolutely.
And you know, we talk a lot with our kids, with the FFA, especially kids, about this job you're getting today is not only for you; it's for the next kid. And I'm starting to see kids come back in and want to help train the next kids. I know Luke had Ryan Shoemaker in on Friday to help with the dairy team. He was just a few years out, you know, but he wants to come back and help. Shout out to JT Graham, works over at Harshes. He was on the ag skills team last year. He wants to come back and help train them again this year. Carter Vogler over at Ag Pro in Georgetown helped out with that tractor troubleshooting team. Brennan Young, same way. You know, that's to see these guys coming back and wanting to be a part of it, and see these kids. You know, we're 60-some members strong in our chapter. For a 2-year, you know, they're only with us 2 years.
Right.
That's really neat to see them come back, want to be a part of it, want to do things with us. You see them at the fair, you see them at these contests and stuff. Really, and you know, living in a small town community, you see them at dinner, you see them it's really neat to hear about, you know, as they get older, a new baby they're having, or a house they bought, or a farm they bought.
Sure.
A new job that they were part of. So getting them to do things in the right way, and for the next, you know, wanting to come back and help is a true feather in the cap of for us, and what we're trying to do to make these kids more employable, better members of our community.
Absolutely. Well, I think you said it really well earlier. When it comes to making out that resume, it's a bit of a gold star. You have that FFA status on there, and obviously you're talking about kids who have just graduated in the last few years. But you look at a lot of our community leaders, and they've got that gold star. I mean, for heaven's sakes, our ag commissioner for the state is from, you know, Adams County and through the FFA program. So that's a pretty incredible thing when you see the level of leadership that former FFA members from this area have taken. I think, you know, Luke, you're an interesting case study, because you are one of how many different FFA advisors that have come from the OVCTC FFA?
Oh, I did some quick math just in my head the other day, and there are at least 13 from Adams County, Ohio Valley School District, and all but one of those went through the program that I'm fortunate to be with now. And interesting enough, Brad talked about, you know, that compounds too when you have student teachers and then they go out and they're teaching. So that's pretty cool stats for a small little community like what we have.
And my ag teacher's still alive.
Yeah.
There you go. Well, it is a pretty incredible thing, folks, the impact that FFA can make. We're going to come back and talk a little more about some of the best things of FFA with the OVCTC chapter here in just a few moments. Stay tuned as we continue our FFA Week celebration here on C103 and Good Guys Radio TV.
Farm families like yours are growing their businesses to ensure their best farm futures. Farm Bureau helps your competitive advantage by advocating for members, connecting you to like-minded entrepreneurs, and providing you with insights and business solutions to grow your bottom line. Add to that healthcare benefits, financial and insurance needs, market intel, and legislative, regulatory, legal risk management tools, and it's easy to see how Farm Bureau is feeding your need for new ideas. Renew your membership or become a member today. Learn more at ohiofarmbureau.org.
Our business is helping you grow. We're Baxter Tractor. We take care of you like family.
We've been growing since 1946. As your Kubota dealer, our focus is to help you grow today and into the future. Stop by one of our locations today, visit with our folks, and see our entire lineup of Kubota products.
Our business is helping you grow. Baxter Tractor.
Carrington Farm Supply in Georgetown has everything you need for your farm, large or small.
Carrington Farm Supply can provide your operation with high-quality farm supplies, equipment, and fertilizers. And since they're an independent ag retailer that's family-owned and operated, it goes without saying that you'll also get high-quality service. Stop in at Carrington Farm Supply in Georgetown Monday through Friday from 8 to 5 or Saturdays from 8 to noon. Call Carrington Farm Supply at 378-3221 and tell them what you need. Chances are they'll tell you they've got it. More than a century of service. Let that sink in for a moment. For more than 100 years, since 1908 and through 4 generations of family-owned business, Georgetown Marble and Granite has stood firm in our community. They've helped thousands of families pay their respects and have memorialized so many lives gone, but not forgotten. When that difficult time comes, Georgetown Marble and Granite will be there to assist you too. Visit their location on East North Street in Georgetown or call 937-378-6314.
At SOMC, it's happening. Now the SOMC Patient Portal app puts managing your healthcare right in your hands. You can request appointments with a simple touch of a screen, quickly and easily get a refill of your prescriptions, make online bill payments, direct message your SOMC provider, and even have safe and convenient virtual visits just about anywhere. The Patient Portal app at Southern Ohio Medical Center. Very good things are happening here.
If this summer brings scorching temperatures and drought conditions, Armstrong Crop Insurance, your local hometown agency, can come to the rescue. They're here to protect your crops from excessive heat, rainfall, wildlife destruction, hail, and even uncertain prices. They have 3 full-time agents who live and farm in your community. The deadline to apply for crop insurance is March 17th. Don't stress all summer long. Call Armstrong Crop Insurance today at 937-378-4430 for a quote, or stop by their office at 501 East State Street in Georgetown. Armstrong Crop Insurance, where the agent is the advantage. Equal opportunity provider. Agriculture is what drives our community. That's why the folks at Community Fuels in West Union are proud to help drive agriculture. Whether it's fueling our local farmers as they head to the fields for spring planting season, or supporting our students as they learn and grow through our local FFA organizations, Community Fuels is there, and they'd be happy to help drive you too. Community Fuels in West Union, proudly serving Adams, Brown, Claremont, Highlands, Scioto, and Pike counties for all your fueling needs. Call today at 937-544-2190.
Whether you play on a football team, a baseball or softball team, a soccer team, a bowling team, a golf team, or a basketball team, the National Bank of Adams County is proud to be a supporter. At the National Bank of Adams County, we have been a part of this community for years. Our children have learned to play every sport in this county, and we've been there to cheer them from the stands. The National Bank of Adams County is proud to support all of those who step up to the plate, the line, the tee, or the net. Good luck and have a successful season.
The National Bank of Adams County, keeping it local. Member FDIC and equal housing lender.
It's almost here.
Stolen away by Feldhouse. Bradshaw.
Welcome back into our 10 a.m. community show here on C103, folks. Welcoming in, again, the OVCTC FFA for one of our many shows we've got coming up this week. Hope you'll continue to tune in here on the air. Guys, before we get ready to wrap up, just a quick kind of, I don't know, your glowing review, if you will. What would you say is the best part of FFA and the thing you're going to hold on to most, as these two distinguished, experienced gentlemen behind you have shared? There's a lot of good memories to be made. So, Bella, if you'll start us off, what's the thing you're going to hold on to the most?
Probably the memories.
Yeah?
I mean, if you would have asked me 2 years ago, I probably wouldn't have said the memories. But I'm at the CTC now. I'm with people that are more similar to myself in a program that I'm happy in. And anything I want to do, they're going to push me to do it harder than I'm going to push myself to do.
Yeah.
And the memories we make along the way, yeah, the banners, they're still really cool. But the memories you make to get the banners are the stories that I'm going to always have. And those people that I may never see those people again,
Sure.
but I was on a team with them and we had a lot of fun together.
What would you say is the best skill set you've built out through FFA?
I don't know that there's one specific skill set. I'd say I've encompassed a general skill set of business skills throughout my life that FFA has only grown on. You know, the ag sales contest. There's a pretty good chance I'm going to be in ag sales in my lifetime. The speaking. You know, there's so many little things, general things that you do every day that you don't realize are being built on while you're doing them.
Sure.
You just do them because, oh, it's a fun contest to
Right.
win, or, I want to do this. 'Cause,
Ronimus told me to.
yeah. And then you realize, wow, there are so many other people that weren't involved in these things, and I'm this far ahead of them because I did those things,
Yeah.
and I built those skills up from the beginning.
Fantastic. Diesel, what about for you? First, best thing you're going to hold on to, and then we'll talk about skill sets.
Yeah, I'll go off her. I'd say it'll definitely have to be the memories, just spending time with the buddies. I mean, we're young.
Yeah.
Not gonna be young again, and when you're young, you can't get a hotel room. I mean,
Even if it's a sketchy hotel.
yeah, you can't.
Yeah.
It's just you get to go new places with your friends and see stuff you don't see, and then, I mean, you're supervised by not your parents.
Sure,
Yeah.
yeah.
You're just
Just
having a good time.
Bigger versions of yourselves, really.
Yeah.
Older
Yeah.
versions of yourselves.
Yeah.
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 Big kids at heart. Best skill set you think you've built out?
I'd say it'd be my ag
Pretty
skills,
all right.
and just even though I don't plan like going in a field of using those, they'll help. They'll
Yeah.
help a lot along the way. Just breaking down on the side of the road and just having that there.
Yeah, absolutely. Brad, let's talk. Obviously, these are two glowing examples for what you guys have to offer with the OVCTC FFA, but I'd have to think that they're pretty general examples of the kids you guys have as well. Good kids that are hardworking and come in to learn every day.
That's the fun part is the mix. And you say, yeah, we get feeder schools, but in the first month, I can't tell who's from where.
Yeah.
They
all become CTC kids
They
at the end.
are.
Yeah.
They're our kids. But seeing, what we get to do is stand up and we'll try to organize the chaos and get things going in the right direction. But when you see the real learning happen, it's when they're working together, when they're that peer-to-peer, when they're in the groups. And the incredible support we've got from our school board and from our administration in the office, it's not easy to carry out these tasks. For instance, we've got a small engine tore apart on the table. Well, with snow days and me being out for different contests, and I think we've been there 10 days or something. It seems like since January. That should have taken a few days. Well, we're a month into having that thing tore down and put back together. So all the different working parts that go in there, I know one thing, that I'm going to hit the door about 10 till 7 in the morning. And after that, it's the experiences just start to mount up after that. But being with these kids and going places and seeing the light bulb come on for them, that's exciting.
Absolutely.
Getting them out to the whether it's a truck and tractor pull or Stoops Peterbilt or a dairy someplace for a tour. Just letting them experience these experiences that maybe they wouldn't have seen just sitting in a regular classroom.
Yeah. Well, and to kind of close out, I can't believe we're only just now bringing this up, but OVCTC, you guys have a unique opportunity. We're going to talk to a lot of other chapters this week that they just don't have, and that's space. Right, you guys have you operate a 40-acre farm. You're getting those very hands-on experiences. You've got the opportunity and the space to take apart an engine, and if it sits there for a month waiting to get put back together, it's it's not eating up into your space and time as like the others. So, Luke, the unique opportunity that your kids have at the CTC going through your FFA program, just briefly touch on that compared to, and not in any way to put down other programs, obviously. But you guys able to expand on things that maybe wouldn't have the opportunity otherwise.
Yes, and I think that comes back to what Brad mentioned. We have people that get behind us that see our vision and sharing our vision and wanting to be kids successful. I've been a part of a school system, and the comment was made to me, well, we need to run this school like a business, which is accurate in a lot of ways. But when we forget that the product that we're producing is not a manufactured stamped item that's the same. It's unique, and it's the fact that it's young people, it's students, it's the future.
That's our bottom
taxpayers.
line.
It's our employees, and so you mentioned we do have a 300-acre school farm now. Yeah,
I cut you short.
It was
You have a front 40, a back 40.
We've got
and
a
another-
lot of different
I'm not
40s.
good at math, but
And, you know,
220 somewhere.
there have been some really cool things happening with that. We're going to be able to host an Envirothon and
Oh, wow.
reach out. We've done a lot with 4-H, different groups there. The 4-H college fair, I forget what they actually call it. It's coming up.
Kids College.
Kids College. That's a really cool thing.
Yeah.
And, you know, it all comes back to the same attitude, and Brad shared that with you, and that's we want to see these students be successful.
Sure.
There's nothing that makes me happier, something I enjoy a lot, is when we're doing a lab activity and I can sit back and just watch, and everybody's got a job and they're doing things. At that point in time, everybody's learning something. You know, we're not – there's valedictorians, there's students that need assistance, but at that point in time, everybody's learning. We're doing something together at the same page, and that's the beauty of career tech.
Yeah.
We can go outside, and our FFA motto is learning to do, doing to learn, earning to live, living to serve. And if you really break that down, the CTC capitalizes on every sentence that says. And that's what I love about the FFA and the Career Center. And I know people in our community see value in it because it's expensive. You know, it's expensive to weld. It's expensive to have these things. And they are carefully choosing those funded dollars and all that to get behind us. And Brad and I can't thank people enough for what opportunities we're able to give these students.
Well, I think that's a great place to wrap up. And thank you guys very much for coming in and talking with us and sharing your FFA experiences. So, folks, be sure and tune in the rest of this week. We'll have more FFA chapters as well as some local farm families coming in to speak about their FFA experiences. For now, though, that'll wrap it up for today and our FFA Week celebration here on C103 and Good Guys Radio TV.